Hi, this is Grace,
And I'm Prisca.
and this is the Fighting Club, a space where being together makes us stronger.
Take a break and hang out with us. So, this is our final episode of the season, and we made it.
We made it!
Made
All
it.
10 episodes for season one. I can't believe we finished the podcast season.
Yeah. So we wanted to spend this episode just reflecting on our first season and just how it went for us, because it really just started out as an idea. Like I remember when we were talking about it, I was on a walk and we were just
Hmm.
chatting and it came up and then we did it and we're
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be a fun thing just to do together as friends. And honestly, it has been kind of like a space of refuge for me when I was just overwhelmed with life, my personal life or at work. It was like, okay, this is like one of my creative outlets where I get to spend time with Prisca and just like talk about fun things or hard things and just kind of have our own little, you know, space. So I always looked forward to it, but man, I think there's a lot that we learned what to do and what not to do. So like we'll love to hear kind of your thoughts on like starting off the podcast and us, hiring our intern Maria Zhang for our podcast internship too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into starting a podcast that I guess I didn't really think about. I was just initially envisioning, oh, we just get together and chat and then we record it and that's it. But
Yeah.
there's so much like I feel like every time we get together for a recording session, we're like trying to set up our mics.
My
Oh,
God.
actually, speaking of I did not really set up my mic properly.
Is it plugged in?
It's plugged in, but it was like far away.
Oh my God.
I
Okay.
don't know if this is better.
I
See,
feel like the
like
sound is already better.
this is the kind of thing, where maybe we should create a checklist.
Yeah.
And
Equipment.
then I remember at the beginning when there were times that Maria wasn't there to help us, we were like kind of struggling with the equipment and hitting record and the
You
metronome.
record it the right way. Yeah.
But it
Yeah,
was kind of fun, like the learning experience
it
and
was
seeing,
fun, but it was tough when we were stressed out and it got busier from summer into the fall. I think I got more just like frustrated. Like it took me
yeah,
45 minutes to look for this mic just now. I'm like, where did this mic go? Where is my like lighting thing? Like everything was just like, oh, we're already done this for 10 episodes and I still can't figure it out.
yeah, summer was a lot more, I think, relaxed.
Yeah.
And then transitioning into fall was pretty tough because there was just like a lot going on in our lives. And so I think in terms of planning, everything felt very set and on schedule at the beginning. And then near the end, we were like scrambling to fit in a recording session and poor Maria like editing last minute. Thank you,
Thank you too.
Maria.
I know. Shout out to Maria, the true MVP here for this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
what else? And I think at the beginning, when we started recording, I definitely felt a lot more tense and
Mm.
self-conscious. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I noticed myself at the beginning, I'm just like, even the picture that is our main picture, I'm like, holding
It's
my
so
cup.
stiff.
Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
stiff and uncomfortable. And I wouldn't say that has totally gone away, but I do feel a little bit more, I felt more relaxed each time we
Yeah,
got
no,
to.
you totally seem more at ease, like with every passing episode, especially the latter ones, and it seems more conversational, which is a good thing. So you're getting more used to this entire weird setup that we have. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's just a conversation between me and you, and it's just like fun to kind of dive into different topics. And I enjoy talking about like our exes episode. My sister told me that she could see how much you and I have grown so much emotionally and mentally, just talking through our ex's journey. And I really appreciated that because, we were talking about how we're proud of ourselves for going through our own therapy and mental health journey and like finding, healthier situations with our partners. But it's so like validating and affirming to hear it from a family member or a loved one who's like
Mm.
also, you know, cheering you on and sees your progression. And so she said she really enjoyed the Exes episode because she saw our own personal development.
Oh, yeah, and I think a lot of our topics in our content was a lot of it was looking back
Mhm.
through the years, and a lot of it was about, I think, growth ultimately.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was fun to reflect on those things.
Yeah, like the PK's episode growing up in the Korean church in Georgia and our young years, 20s in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, it was a lot of reflections. I think it'll be cool in the second season when we come back in the new year to like talk about things we things that propel us forward and
Mm-hmm.
bring on some
Yeah.
interesting guests like our friends to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
that'll be,
I would love to like just talk more about things that we're doing presently,
yeah.
all the things that we enjoy, and yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe
like your acting creative career.
yeah. I mean, we didn't really plan it like this, but maybe season one, the theme was sort of just like looking back
Hmm.
and kind of like looking at our journey
Yeah.
where we are now.
Yeah.
Um,
And how we can move on now
yeah.
to the second season forward. And I think it's good to have new voices in the space and hear from other perspectives and learn from them too. So I'm excited to like bring on people in our
Mhm.
community, in our
Yeah.
network of friends, maybe even
That
family.
was always something that we wanted to be part of the podcast. But the
Yes.
season one intentionally just kind of starting out with us
Yeah.
two. Um, yeah.
Yeah, so people kind of know who we are and why we're doing this and what this is about before we bring in another voice.
Hmm. What
Um,
would you say that this is about?
what do you mean? The current podcast?
Yeah.
I think it's a podcast that's about our friendship and what it's like navigating life as two women in this world. So
Hmm.
I really do see it as a friendship podcast. And I mean, I've heard from friends too. They feel like when they listen to the podcast, they're part of a conversation with us and they want to like chime in and then they realize it's a podcast. But I
Hmm.
love that it's creating a space where people feel like they can be part of the conversation, they relate to what we're talking about, they want to hear more too. And I think that's another thing too. We will love to hear from everyone here whether it's on Spotify comments or Apple Podcast comments or on our Instagram, let us know what topics you might be interested and questions you have for season two, because we will love to explore what you guys are interested in as well.
Mm.
Why did it get so busy from like transitioning into the fall for you?
Oh, for me, I mean, I just had some major travel plans in the midst of um also major like transitions in my life. And so just trying to juggle everything was really hard. And trying to give like my full attention to, everything. It's just, yeah, I think I tend to, and we talked about this, like I tend to think that I can do it all,
Mm.
and I cannot, is the reality. So, yeah. Um, and yeah, so, it's been through it all, like having this kind of space to just be like an anchor has been really nice. And, we chat a lot, obviously, outside of this
Yes. Yeah, and just catch up on our
recording
own.
sessions. Yeah. Um, so I think it's been really important to have just these like anchors, I guess, in the midst of so
Mm.
much movement. I have my therapy, which is, it's been consistent and a really good place to give myself time and space for the emotions that I tend to just kind of push down, and learning to notice it more in my body, and
Mm.
care for myself, be gentle on myself. But
Mm.
yeah, and then, after I came back from Korea, the elections, just like,
A
oh. Yeah.
lot.
And then we were like processing it together.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm being really vague here. I don't want to like share
Well, can you
everything.
share like why did it get so busy? It was you went to Korea, but you already mentioned before like the projects you've done. So can you share what it is outside of the home
I
life
think
that
I'm
got
just
so
like trying
busy?
to start up my career is a big thing. And then I've been trying to commit time towards like building up like this acting thing, because it's something I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Um and so um I took on an acting gig,
Mhm.
and that's like a rehearsal now added every evening. And then
That's a lot.
taking an acting class that's it's pretty intense, and it's 2 classes a week, and it's about like 3, 4 hours long each class. And it's just a lot.
That's a
Like that
lot.
is required, even outside of the actual like rehearsals and acting, the classes, the work involved in doing those things and preparing for it. Um, and then also taking care of my kids and my family, obviously, like everything, just managing everything. I haven't really found a good routine yet, because there's been just constant, I don't want to say interruptions, because it makes it sound like
Mm.
bad, or I'm blaming these things, but it's just things that happen, right?
Right.
And things I planned. Like I took on these travel plans like 2 weeks, and then coming back feeling so jet lagged, that was really hard to manage.
Mm.
Um and then like kids getting sick, it's sort of like that season where everyone's getting sick and not being in school, parent teacher conferences. Like, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but for us, when parent teacher conferences happen, the kids are out of school for 2 days.
That's a lot.
And
Ugh.
yeah, I have 2 kids, and their school calendars aren't aligned. So
Yeah.
one kid is out for 2 days, and then the next 2 days the other kid is out, and then one kid gets sick, so they're out for like the rest of that week. And then we have like we just had a cyclone. So
Oh my
all the
God, I
power
know the
was out.
power went out for like a day, right? It's so crazy.
Yeah, so just a lot of like both things that we knew were going to come up, but also things that are unpredictable, all happening at once. It's just really can get overwhelming when I really just want to find a sense of predictability and routine. And I just really haven't been able to find that yet. Um,
Ugh, that's so tough.
yeah. Yeah. How about for you?
I think in the summer it was busy but manageable, and I think it was good that we did like we had a schedule for recordings that was pretty regular, and we recorded a couple at a time, which was really helpful advice that someone else, another podcaster gave us. A month out from election day, that was like halfway, a little more than halfway through the season, our podcast season. I was like, I didn't have the energy and time to like do the recordings regularly, and so things kind of just got crazy.
Yeah.
Um, you
And
know,
your job is related, directly involved with the election.
yeah, just organizing in
Yeah.
all across the country. In California, we went to Pennsylvania, then I spent a full month in Georgia. So
Lots
like
of travel.
a lot of travel, being in my late 30s, I'm not used to that, and I think it really catches up. The travel and then physically just like organizing communities on the ground is exhausting. So after election day, I know we have a post that we're gonna put up on social media too, on kind of like our a mini reflection from elections, but I just felt like so numb and so sad and angry and exhausted. Um, I came back home to New York and I just slept for 2 days and I thought, oh, I'm okay. I'm feeling better. And then I went to DC for some work business, and saw a lot of great community folks at this Korean American gathering. But I broke down like 3 times at the gala. Once in the bathroom, once in the hallway with some friends, and then another during the gala during a speech. So I mean, that just shows like how heightened my emotional state is and how like sensitive I am too, that I it just feels like I'm bleeding out everywhere. And so I did finally set up a spiritual direction time with someone I've worked with in the past. So I'm looking forward to that to help me process some of those things. But I think I jumped too quickly into like seeing people and engaging with the world.
Mm,
And it's a long journey of like healing and dealing with the trauma of the election results and then Trump's nominees. And I'm still doing work, not as intensely as before, but I still have like political client work that I'm doing. And like
mhm,
yesterday, I was having a team outing thinking it's going to be, this is like 2 weeks after election day. And I was like, oh, it'd be nice to like take out the team and thank everyone for their hard work. And towards the end of the lunch, I started having like sharp pains on my chest. It started tightening, and I had like near my armpit, like it was like sharp pains too. And I was like, this is the onset of a panic attack. And I remember feeling this a year and a half ago when I had a stressful client project. And then I was like, why am I feeling this now? I'm in like in a relaxed setting with my team. And suddenly like I'm having these like painful things, and my team was there, like my team are also my friends, and they're just like, how do I help you, what do we do? And I was like, I don't know, let's just sit, like I can't really move.
mhm,
And that was just yesterday. I just had the panic attack yesterday, so like I just worked for a little bit afterwards for like an hour and a half, and then I just went home and took a nap and just like try to rest. But I think
mhm,
my body is just saying like, girl, you need to slow down and rest.
mm. Yeah.
I keep ignoring my body. And my therapist in the past always says, listen to your body, Grace. Your body
Uh,
will tell you
Yeah.
everything you need
I
before
mean,
your
it
mind gets to it.
sounds like you have moments that you are holding in your mind of like, I broke down here. and there, and this happened, and I felt this in my body. And now you, it's like your body is saying, listen to me, listen to me. So I'm glad that you booked that session with the spiritual director.
Me too. I'm excited about that. And like my
Yeah.
family already planned a trip to Puerto Rico for all of next week for Thanksgiving. So like I'm so excited to just get away and just like chill. And I'll probably need a
Yeah.
lot of alone time too and just not be around people because I think I just need to really like listen to my body and just rest. And so I'm probably gonna cancel my evening reception thing I was planning to go to because I think I just need to keep resting and not
Yeah.
get back into what I usually do, which is like throwing myself into things.
Yeah. Because it's
Just-
like your body is speaking out in all these, in your work, while you're in
Yes.
a meeting, while you're at the gala, and just giving yourself that undivided attention, like in that space, I think is really important. So you can just let that all be without feeling pressure to get over it quickly or to hide it, you
hmm
know?
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? How are you dealing?
Um, I mean, I had a panic attack too. When uh after coming back from the trip, I was jet lagged and I just felt a lot of pressure to um be adjusted right away and hit the ground running with everything that had been delayed. And I actually haven't had a panic attack since I would say like my 20s or something.
Hmm.
But back then I didn't know I was having a panic attack. But this time like I'm aware of what it feels like and what it is. And I was in the middle of like a practice session with one of my acting classmates, and it just, I don't know why it happened at that time. Like, I don't think you can really ever predict when it's gonna come, but my chest started feeling really tight. I was getting short of breath. It felt like it was just collapsing within its.
Yeah.
It's just like I think I'm having a panic attack.
Yeah, that's
And
so scary.
I
Yeah.
am glad that in the moment I could recognize what was happening and say what I needed, which, or just at least state what was happening. And
Yeah.
thankfully my partner was like, yeah, let's stop, and we can stop and just whatever you need, like I'll be here. And she was really nice.
Mm.
And I right after that, our we had our class. And to be honest, I don't think I really had enough time to recuperate because I was really just trying to get myself back together and so that I can be ready for class. And I did have the thought like I just kind of want to go home right now and
No.
feel like I should not go to class.
Mm.
But I had already missed so much of class that I didn't want to miss anymore. So I went to class. It was really intense. I came out of it very like emotionally exhausted.
Yeah.
And also again, I was jet lagged, so I wasn't running on very much sleep, which, sleep is very important.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's just it's funny that we both experienced panic
I
attack.
can't believe we both had panic attacks in the last week. Like, this is just kind
Yeah.
of sad. It shows like our state of being is not in a good place. Like, we need to,
Hmm.
slow down.
Yeah, for sure. I think, we both tend to be, maybe we, I'm speaking for you too, and you
Yeah.
can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think we both tend to like overestimate ourselves and our capacity.
Yes. we do the most, as the young people say, and we need to hold back a little bit more and like be okay
Mhm.
with being a little more measured in what we do. We
Mhm.
have a lot of exciting things and want to just do them all because like we're really passionate about it, but then
Yeah.
we have human limitations, and so we need to be aware of that.
Yeah,
Put
yeah, and
the
it's like it's
boundaries.
not like things are bad. It's like
Yeah.
we are really excited about the things that we're part of,
Yes.
but it's just we're giving
Too
our
much.
all to too many things,
Yep.
and at some point we just crash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so our body did. Literally.
So what's cool is that December's coming up and we get to see each other again, which will be nice.
I'm
It's
so
all
excited. Whenever I go to Seattle and see you guys, I just feel like it's my happy place.
Mm,
It really feels like so much like home, and I look forward to it every time. Yeah, it's gonna be so good to just like rest and chill together,
yeah.
and then also like think about what season two is gonna look like. But
So when you come to Seattle, um, yeah, we've planned just getting together to further assess and
yeah,
talk about the podcast
yes,
and then just spend time just
out
to relax,
just to be.
to be.
Yeah, we're gonna get some self-care and go get a have a spa day or a massage or something. We gotta do some of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Yeah, but man, I can't believe we finished our first season. I even despite panic attacks, an election that didn't go the way we hoped, your new
Mhm.
acting forays and a cyclone. I mean, this has been a very eventful season one in
Yeah.
our lives. Season two, hopefully everything gets better and things solidify and there's more of a rhythm and we'll have some time over the holidays to recuperate. So, but
Mhm.
I'm really grateful that we could do this together. This is a fun project that
Yeah. I'm
we're
proud
to.
of us.
Yeah, I'm proud of us too.
We
Great
made it.
team.
We made it through. We didn't even know what it was gonna, we didn't
Me,
really know.
like, what is this?
And
I don't know.
we're just gonna do it. We did it and took the risk.
Yeah, we did 10 episodes. That's pretty amazing.
Um, okay, so the way that we wanted to end the final episode is just to answer some questions that reveal a little bit more about us or our personalities, but nothing too heavy or deep, but just like short answer,
To get to
uh,
know us.
getting to know us questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the first question, name origin. Prisca. Where did your name come from? I thought it was Prisca Layla all my life.
Did we ever share the story?
I don't know if we did. Should we share
I think we should share it,
it? Okay.
actually.
I thought Prisca's name was from a biblical character named Prisca Layla up until like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So I was like telling my husband's mom, my mother-in-law, oh, my friend Prisca, she her name comes from this woman in the Bible named Prisca Layla. And I remember my mother-in-law being surprised, and like, oh, kind of confused and surprised. She's like, oh.
She's like, what Bible is Grace reading?
So then I think I brought that up to you or something, and you're like, that's not the origin of my name. Prisca Layla is a name I made up in high school that I thought would be funny.
It was like a joke.
It was a joke
Yeah. And then you totally thought since high school
since high
to
school.
now, which is how many years?
20 years. I thought for
Yeah.
20 years that your
You
name
thought
It was Prisca Layla, and that Prisca Layla was a biblical character, but it's a fake news. Prisca Layla is not even a biblical character. So, anyways,
Yeah, so Prisca is from actually a version of the name Priscilla, which is a name from the Bible. There's no Prisca Layla in the
who's
Bible.
Prisca Layla?
Um, but yeah, my parents wanted to name me after Priscilla, but they preferred the version Prisca. I think it's because I don't know if they were joking, but I remember the story of like they didn't like Priscilla Presley.
Elvis Presley is.
Elvis and Priscilla Presley were too scandalous.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if that's like the reason, but I asked my dad, like, why did you name me Prisca? Because it's not a name that you really hear.
Yeah.
And I grew up like wanting to be named something else. Like I always wish I was named like Sarah, like
Oh.
something more common. And
Oh.
Sarah's from The Little Princess. But I
Oh.
asked my dad, like, why did you name me Prisca? And and then he was like, it's every parent's first time parents' mistake to try to name their first child something so unique.
Oh my God. You said it was a mistake? Oh God.
It is true. Like everyone tries to name their kid something
They
so
do.
unique. And so mine, among all the siblings, it's like, because
The
my,
most unique.
yeah, my siblings have pretty like common names.
They're very
And
basic names, basic Christian names, and then you have Prisca. I love Prisca for you. It's such a perfect name for you.
yeah, I mean, I've grown into it. I like it now.
Yeah,
But growing up, I was like, Prisca.
that's
What
hard.
about you?
Um, my parents are pastors too, and so they're like, let's think of a biblical name. Actually, they thought I was gonna be a firstborn male son,
Oh,
and so they
mm.
had a name picked out, Moses. So my name,
Moses.
I was supposed to be Moses because they thought I was gonna be a boy, and then I was a girl, and I guess they were like, oh, I guess we give her the most basic Korean Christian name ever,
It's
Grace.
the most basic Korean
Because Moses is
Christian.
not. Moses is
Yeah.
really unique.
But Grace, yeah.
Basic.
How many Korean Graces do you know?
Like 30, like
A
too
lot.
many, a lot. Like
Yeah.
I know four other Grace Choi's. So even my with my last name, it's not unique, but
What
um
would you say is like the most common Korean, like our generation Korean? Like Grace,
Eunice, Esther,
Daniel, oh, Esther,
um,
David.
David, Daniel, John. John's a very
Mm-mm.
common name. Um, but my mom now tells me that my name, I think she came up with it later, but she says, Grace, I named you Grace because grace is God's richness at Christ's expense. Like that.
Mm.
Like that it meant something, but I don't know. I think it is a great name, but when I was younger, I really didn't like it either because I didn't feel graceful. I still don't feel graceful. I think it's a hard
Mm.
name to live up to. So I didn't like the pressure of the name too. People were
Mm-mm.
like, "Oh, you should be graceful and like, gliding around or something." Like I
It
was
is
really
hard
hard.
when the name is like a quality.
Yeah.
That is the name.
Like, can you imagine my sister Joy? Does she have to always be joyful? Like, that's a hard name to live up to. It's hard.
Yeah. Like joy, hope, charity.
Peace. I've come to learn to embrace it, but it's just a hard
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
But anyways, next question.
What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I think I wanted to be, I don't remember when I was a kid what I wanted to be. I think
Hmm.
I didn't know, but later on, I think I wanted to be like a doctor or a lawyer, which is such a
Oh,
Korean thing.
you wanted to be?
I think because like that's what people like my society and like people around us told us, and I think I wanted to be a diplomat. I think I wanted to be doing something that like serves and helps other people. Like, oh, being a lawyer, you can
Mm.
help people with their legal stuff. Oh, doctor, you can help them fix stuff. But I learned quickly I did not like science, biology, chemistry, don't like blood. I was
Mhm.
like, definitely not gonna be a
Mhm.
doctor. Yeah. What about you?
Well, that's funny because when I went to when I started college, so my major was comparative literature.
Oh yeah.
And I love writing, I love like reading, arts and all that stuff. And but then I had this moment in my freshman year where I was like, but I could be anything. I
Oh.
could do anything I want, you know? And my parents never really pressured me to be doctor or lawyer, which I'm thankful for. But then I was like, yeah, they never pressured me. And so I never thought about like, could I be a doctor? I could be a doctor. So I signed up for like a biology, like 142. I signed up for biology the second semester without having it taken first semester. And the professor was like, I highly suggest that you do not do this. And I was like, I can do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. I almost failed. And like I was studying for the final. I was really struggling. Already I knew my grade was pretty low. And I was like, I need to pass this final in order to pass the class. And I asked my friend, like, hey, can you help me calculate what I need to get on this
Yeah.
final in order to pass?
Yeah.
Punched in some numbers on the calculator, and I watched him punch it in, and then he saw the number, and then he cleared it out, and he was like, just do your best. Needless to say, that was a lesson in that this was not the direction for me.
Did you pass the class?
I ended up getting a D.
Oh, good. You
Mhm.
passed.
I passed. But when I was little, like 7, that age, I wanted to be a zoologist, but
Oh,
I didn't know what that meant.
right.
In my mind, it meant somebody who goes to the zoo and draws animals. Because I really liked
Oh,
drawing and I really liked animals. I loved like
cute.
Lisa, Lisa Frank,
Yes, I remember
like
Lisa Frank, the
all those
rainbows.
all those like unicorns and
Yeah,
cute dogs and cats,
cats.
stuff like that. I was
Yeah.
like always like trace and draw animals. So I was
Hmm.
like, I want to just draw animals for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna be a
Oh,
zoologist.
how cute is that?
All
Love that.
right. What is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal is anything with kimchi, but
Mm.
lately, because it's getting colder, is kimchi jjigae with either spam or some kind of like beef and a bowl of rice, chakopbap, like purple rice, like healthy rice. So
Mhm.
I just love kimchi so much, like kimchi fried rice. I just love kimchi by itself. I love kimchi. I just like 볶은 kimchi and then eat it with some rice and an egg and sesame oil and soy
Wow,
sauce. Man, I'm getting hungry.
you
Uh,
love it.
what about you? What's your favorite meal?
Um, it's always hard for me to answer this question because, and my answer is always like, oh, it just depends on my mood. I don't think I have a favorite. It just changes based on what I'm feeling. But I would say my comfort food Korean comfort food would be like 설렁탕,
Ooh,
like 설렁탕 and
I can't go wrong.
stews. Um,
With good kakdugi?
yeah, gotta pair it with good gakdugi.
Mm.
Yeah. And I didn't really like kimchi until more recent years.
Oh my gosh, what
Yeah,
happened?
growing up, I never ate. I really didn't like kimchi. My parents would try to get me to eat it. My mom even said, like, I have this like birthmark on my hand, and she's like, "You have that because you're not eating kimchi."
Kimchi
Okay.
birthmark, basically, if you don't eat
Other
it.
other parents tell their kids that an angel kissed them, but
Your mom
like,
says it's because you don't eat kimchi.
yeah.
Wow, that's really intense.
What about, do you have a favorite cocktail? Favorite drink?
Oh, I really love things with egg whites, so like pisco sour or any
Mhm.
version of that. So something that's a little light, sour, um, tangy kind of taste, and I just like how it looks too with the foam on the top. And then when I'm feeling a little spicy and want to like stay out, espresso martinis. But I have to like, I don't always go to that because it's an intense drink with a lot of caffeine.
What
But
would you say the egg whites, what do they add to
a
the
smoothness to it. It's
mm,
almost like if you were to get a cappuccino and then like you get the foam and there's a
mhm.
smoothness to when you drink the coffee. For me, the egg white to me it adds like the smoothness as I drink like this more tart, soury
Oh,
cocktail
kind of
drink.
balance it out.
It balances it out for me. Yeah.
Um,
What's your favorite drink? I think I already know because we've had it a lot of times, but love to hear you share it.
I like a gin gimlet, which is like limey. I like limey drinks.
Mhm,
And then adding like elderflower.
mhm.
That's kind of
So good.
my favorite combo.
Mhm.
I don't really like anything else, like other liquor, like vodka or I don't know what else. Rum. I just stick with gin.
And you found that drink during COVID, right? When you were making cocktails at home? Is that right?
Oh yeah, during COVID, it was like an idea that Jeff and I had, just like a date night because we couldn't go out. So what's something we could do together? So we did like the subscription cocktails. They would send in a box, and we weren't really we didn't really know a lot about drinks and mixing before that. So that kind of opened up our expanded our knowledge a little bit about cocktails, and then I discovered my
Your
taste.
drink. The
Yeah.
Prisca drink that you ask for at
The
bars
Prisca
sometimes.
drink.
The Prisca Layla drink. The best drink of all. Last question is what are your favorite kinds of shows or movies?
Weirdly, I now really enjoy like zombie stuff.
What? That's not what I expected you to say.
I used to not I couldn't watch those things at all. Like anything like violent, or I'm very squeamish. But after I got pregnant, like that I was really just like wanting to watch zombie stuff. I don't know why.
I've
So
heard that before.
I watched Walking Dead through my pregnancy, and like while I'm, you know, nursing.
Breastfeeding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would just turn on Walking Dead, and my I remember my dad was like, "That's not healthy, like what you're taking in, and then
Yeah.
give it out to your baby." And then like Train to Busan, those kind of movies. Um, and also like what was it? There was another Korean show, like Everyone is Dead or something like that.
I don't know. I don't watch those kind of shows. They freak me out.
I don't know why I enjoy it.
Something switched.
Something about the end of the world, survival, and humanity. Like you're human, but you turn into something, and you I don't know. It's just. I enjoy zombie movies now.
But that's like post-pregnancy and during pregnancy. I've heard that before with like women who ha became pregnant. They like started watching like horror movies and love it. I
Is that a
wonder,
thing?
I've heard that before. So maybe it's a thing that happens with your hormones or something too. And maybe
Weird.
breathing life, you want to see life disappear on the screen. I don't know. That's dark, but I don't know. I've heard it before though. We should look into
Or
that.
maybe I can relate to the zombies.
God. Whatever sounds so
Wait,
hard.
what do you like to watch?
I love watching comedy and like K-dramas that are like happy and whimsical and like, you know,
Yeah.
I like rom-coms and then I
I
just
like
like
rom-com.
comedy.
Yeah.
Lately though, I've been watching more documentaries. Like last night we watched the Martha Stewart documentary.
Oh.
And 2 nights ago, we watched the Quincy Jones documentary, and it's just so interesting, like learning about the full breadth of someone's life from like birth until who they are now. And it gave me a lot more perspective, like about Martha Stewart, because I just knew her mostly connected to the Enron scandal and the insider trading, but
Mhm.
life is so complicated, and it made me like appreciate kind of her um commitment to perfection and success. Like honestly, like she's such a
Mhm.
badass woman. She served her time
Oh,
and
interesting.
yeah, I appreciated her more and I was just thinking like the feedback that she got all through her career because she used to work on Wall Street as a trader and then she started her own business, a billion-dollar business, multi-billion dollar. And people will just say like she's so mean, she's bossy, she's a bee. But
Mhm.
then people were saying if it was a man doing the same thing she did, they wouldn't criticize her. They would call that success and like give a lot of accolades. And I was just thinking like that is so true. Like there is this double, triple standard on women, and it's tough to be a woman in a man's world. So I also it
Mhm.
just made me also think about Kamala Harris and how like she's such a badass for like doing what she did, and it's just tough to put yourself out there at the highest level of office and run. And I just
Mhm.
thought like she really, really worked hard and really tried her best, and I'm just so proud of who she is. And it must have been, especially because she grew up like at a different decade than us, like even harder for her to be a woman in leadership.
Mhm.
But anyways, it just made me appreciate women leaders more. I've just like faced so many obstacles and
Yeah.
even ones facing that are facing obstacles now. But yeah. I hope everyone got to feel like you're knowing us a little bit better through our Q&A with each other. And we're sad to say goodbye for now with season one, but we're excited to launch season two in the new year. So stay tuned for when we will launch season two. But we'll miss you all, but look forward to seeing you in the new year. Make sure you like and subscribe at Fighting Club Podcast on Instagram. Find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. Your reviews and your comments help more people find us. And so we hope if it's been a source of inspiration for you, it can also be for other folks. But Priska?
Yeah, thank you all for following along, and we hope that you can join us next season. To all our friends listening,
Fighting!